The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18 plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We are joined once again by Susan Crabtree, Real Clear Politics national correspondent. She's got that great podcast with our friend Eric Eggers. And welcome back, Susan. How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. You going to that silly White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Nope.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Oh, I can be relieved. I'm not going either. I would not go. Actually, never mind. We'll get to that later. I just think it's the most offensive thing ever. And those people take themselves so seriously. And after they drop the ball on Joe Biden, how can they give themselves an award after not telling the truth about Joe Biden? You know?
Yeah, some of their awards have been laughable over the years. I have gone for many years, so I just don't need to go anymore. It's kind of a relief.
I know what you mean. I've been myself, and I saw George W. Bush make horrible jokes about the troops, and I decided never again. Susan, tell us, we haven't talked in a while, and I am still have so many nagging suspicions about Butler, Pennsylvania, and the assassination attempt on President Trump. Last time we talked, people who should have been disciplined were getting promoted. Where do things stand right now in the aftermath of Butler?
Well, over the weekend, I broke a story. I don't know if I forwarded it to you or not, Greg, but it was disturbing to me. We've still got DEI issues just on display at the Secret Service. A special agent was caught with a OnlyFans, making sex videos with an OnlyFans creator. She put his Secret Service badge out on her social media and was talking about, with his name on it. So exposed him. We don't know if he knew he was being filmed or not, if this was being done against his will, but it was certainly another embarrassing episode for the Secret Service.
Well, he might be the victim of a sex crime in a weird way, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's the same woman who extorted the Patriots wide receiver, former wide receiver. Is it Stefan Diggs? Is that his name? I'm not a...
Yeah, Stefan Diggs. Yeah, that's what... Yeah.
Yeah. So she exploited him earlier and tried to get money out of him, according to his lawyer. Now she did it to the Secret Service. I'm told by sources who know him that he had broken up with her. But, I mean, this is a case of bad judgment. The person he was choosing to so-called date, or however you want to call it, is not a upstanding individual, and he should have known that he was subjecting himself and his security clearance to extortion of some type.
All right, but yeah, I know that's bad news. Now, what about the Butler investigation itself? Most of us are not satisfied. I know that discipline in the Secret Service has been screwed up or non-existent. But as to what happened in Crooks and, was he talking to Iran, not talking to Iran, any more light shed on any of that?
I'm talking to an individual about Willie Tepps. They have some more information they're sharing, putting out on their own social media. I need to get in touch with that person. But, Willie Tepps is a guy that Thomas Crooks was talking to. It feels some kind of Norwegian bizarre activist. Very little is the FBI shed no light on him. We wouldn't know about him at all if not for Tucker Carlson and Miranda Devine, someone who came to them, a private investigator, it appears, and provided both Tucker and Miranda, information about his Thomas Crooks's much wider social media footprint than we were told that he had before. And so that's of great interest to me because we still don't know what was on his foreign encrypted apps, Thomas Crooks's. And so this is interesting. This is a foreign entity he was in touch with this person was very violent in their comments, and so was Thomas Crooks violent against President Trump and against government. He said you just take them out. That's how you get change in your government. You basically just take them out. So all of this has come out. The FBI was forced to answer questions, and they were very aggressive against Miranda. They said that this guy was not, that Thomas Crooks was not a furry, and she had maybe implied that he was a furry in some of her reporting, but he was on a furry website. So, anyway, I didn't feel like the FBI handled this very well at all. We do know that...
Who was on the furry website? Crooks?
Crooks, yes.
And that furry stuff, those furries are into trans, they're into this, they're into that. Now, some of them just like getting dressed up in those stupid, those silly costumes. Right?
Yeah. Yes, but the point is, we didn't know about this, and the FBI did not tell us.
Now, why is that? And why the hell hasn't Kash Patel been a bit more forthcoming? They had that, whatever her name is, the digital reporter over there at Fox, Brooke, come in, we told Brooke everything and, there's no more story here. I mean, what the hell were they thinking? That was the whole damn thing. There's something in the water in that FBI building. There's something going on. I feel like I like Kash, but I feel like he's been captured by the agency. There's something up.
Yes, I agree. I tend to like him. I tend to like Dan Bongino, but I didn't like the way they treated Miranda in that reporting. If they wanted to avoid this, being the toothpaste is out of the tube, you know what I mean? You had a chance to be forthcoming to the American public, and you weren't. So then now the journalists got a hold of it. And you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You have to explain yourself here. Why didn't we know about this? And what I understand is that Donald Trump does not want to go back. He doesn't want to reinvestigate and relitigate.
Are you sure about that? He doesn't.
I am 100% sure.
Well, no, look, he's in an awkward position though, right? He's in a very awkward position. He's surrounded by these guys. The head of the Secret Service was his guy there in Butler. I heard this once a long time ago, that presidents are at some level, consciously or subconsciously, a little bit afraid of the intelligence community and the security kind of apparatus around them, right? They it's weird. I said, is Kash Patel captive of the FBI? They literally have guns. He's got to stay on their good side. You know what I mean? You can't look. It's the only Secret Service we got. It's totally dysfunctional, but it's the only one we got. So how far can he go? Practically speaking, maybe not very far.
Well, I think he needs to send a direct. There was supposed to be, before Kristi Noem left office, I was hearing that there was a plan to shake up the Secret Service and to come get a little bit harder, crack down on Mr. Curran and say you got to have more reforms. But the problem with that is there's so many people who have left the agencies, the senior brain drain, senior agents, that they are trying desperately to hire more people. They upped the recruitment bonus from 45,000 to 75,000. That means they're not getting enough recruits because the vice president's detail, J.D. Vance, is far more active. J.D. Vance, is, as you can imagine, is far more active than Kamala Harris. He's going to Pakistan. So they are burnt out, and there's not enough agents. And that's a major problem, and they're lowering the standards, and they have been for years because of a DEI push under Joe Biden that really, I think, what resulted in Butler. You can have I think it was really DEI and confidence at Butler and just years of not really rigorous. It was also, Sean Curran, he was pushing back on the leadership at the Secret Service for more assets, and he had the receipts. But it's still a B list. It's not the A list. It's not the A team when you're dealing with a campaign, even for a former president. They weren't treating it. It wasn't threat based. The Secret Service likes to say they're threat based, but when it came to Donald Trump's campaign, they were not threat based. Okay, they weren't giving him enough assets.